hockey program director at the Research Council of Western New York, which is a community center in Western New York that serves the east side of Buffalo and other regions within all people within the city. Provides food resources, it provides financial resources, and it also provides after school activities for children and weekend activities. I am, as the hockey program director, it was my job to help the kids. It's in terms of learning how to skate, get them prepared, get them ready to go to the ice rink on Saturdays throughout the fall and early winter. It's been a lot of fun. Before that, I was the head coach at Canisius University for the club hockey team in the AAU. Last year, we won our Division III championship outright. We won the division and won the playoff. So that was a fun ride and a good time. I spent time at RPI as a video coordinator. I've also spent time with USA Hockey as a coordinator. So we'll get on to the presentation there in terms of driving offense on both sides of the game, playing without the puck. So this kind of all starts for me as being a youth player. My coach once told me the best way to learn the game is by watching the pros. When you do, pay attention to what the players without the puck are doing. I didn't start playing until I was 12 years old. So I really had to kind of catch up quick at the beginning. And this was said towards the end of the year, learning how to skate and such forth. It was actually very great advice. So I did off and on the ice. Watched a lot of Sabres games on the Empire Network before I went to MSG. Then we all would watch the CBC Hockey Nights in Canada as well on Saturday nights. Kind of made Sunday morning practices and games hard, but to just watch both slates. But it was worth it just to kind of see what the best in the leagues were really doing. And then of course you had the national broadcasts on Fox, ABC, and ESPN as it was kind of rolling through. As I stated, I was very new to the game, so I was off. I got to do a lot of watching while in the rink and on the ice as well. Last player, that was the last line player. We had about 4 or 3 lines, depending on what it was. Switched out every other shift. So I got to watch what everybody was doing. And then when I was on the ice until I got better, I was also usually the 4th or 5th man back defensively. So I did get to actually see formations from ice view to see, okay, that's on the offensive end. This is where I need to go. This is where I need to be based on what everybody else has covered. Finding the open spots, open slots. And then defensively, I knew which defenseman to pick up based on what might have been going on in the zone. And as we go into the lessons. So things you learn in terms of what it means to play off the puck. By just watching the game, it's what it means to actually be open on the ice. There isn't a lot of space. It looks like it, but there's not a lot of space. You are trying to find lanes. You're trying to make lanes to be open for passes, pick up the puck and move. You're looking to see where the opposing players are and seeing if they're in the way of the sight line. If you want to get a puck, if you're trying to receive a pass or you want to pick off a pass, are you in their sight line? Are you in the way of between them and the puck? And then, picking the right angles to try to play in between the defender and the puck and being between the net and the puck, whichever direction in which you're going. In terms of distance of coverage, are you able to see this? Are you able to are you aware defensively of how far you are, how quickly you have to close out, which person you have to pick up? I was a winger, so often I was picking up either the defender or the slot man. And depending on the situation, I knew where. I made sure to keep myself in the right space. Puck's in the corner, then I know I need to be between the defender and the slot man and right behind him, so I can either try to pick up behind the stick, or if I know the slot person's being greedy and the defender's really not that, and the defender wasn't a threat, then I can stay on the slot person and while I was becoming a better skater, I knew I could actually close out pretty quickly, whether it be directly onto the defender or at least get down to take a sliding block shot. And at that age, that kind of actually scared a lot of defense. That would scare a lot of people. Like, wait a minute, he's looking to block the shot. I don't know what to do. So you try to disrupt lanes in that way, and then just kind of be in the right place in the right times. I learned how to become a puck hawk. So I understood. Okay, if both defensemen are on their far defensive blue line, as we're as they're trying to regroup. Then I want to be in the middle between the two of them to try to take away the pass and then converge on the man with the puck, with the hope that my fellow line mate can come up on, try to take the puck with them. If I can get them to stall, or if I can cause a turnover and make a break, I can pass it off and towards the middle and hopefully make a play that way. And then, like I said, last man in, where at that point, you should know where to go. You should know where to pick up. You don't have to dictate. Everyone should be able to tell you where to be. As it relates to how all this is important, as into playing off the puck and playing and picking off on the plays, the idea would be from this is, what can you do when you don't have the puck just to make something happen and to take a risk, knowing that you're taking a risk, but taking a calculated risk. This game is meant to be played fast. This game is meant to be risky. So just to kind of always play it cautious, you find yourself on your heels more often than not. And that's where I find real mistakes happen. Yes, you can make a mistake when you are taking a risk, but at least if you're convicted, you can do so. So we'll go through that in the next slide. So creating the offense from the puck, from any zone, here's the basics. And the most important things you need to know from a basic standpoint. What's your vision? Using your vision? Do you know where the puck is? Do you know who the person you're supposed to be defending is located? Do you know if you're on offense, where is the nearest defender, so you can figure out, do I need to cut around them? Do I need to move away? Do I need to find a soft spot? See where the passing seams are and locate them for you and your teammates. If you're trying to break out of the zone, you don't know, and they're trying to break out the zone, going through the center, you're trying to go through the center of the defensive zone. You probably want to make sure your passing lane cuts in front of a defender, or at least a couple defenders who may be on the back end on the weak side. If you have three guys between you and the person who's trying to pass you, it's not an open lane. If you can't get your stick into an open space, then it's not an open spot. You have to create it based on what you can see. Stops, especially when you're on the play, hanging a puck defensively. As the puck stops, can you stop? Can you stop? Make sure you're stopping the right place. Are you doing swing bys instead of making a hard stop that protects the lane, but also be able to pick up and go from there? Risk assessments, being able to have a risk assessment, counting numbers. I'm going into my offensive zone. If it's me versus three other defending players, there's not much I can do. There's not much I can do. My teammate has the puck, and I see that and I'm making it a 3-on-2. Am I going to go to a place that I can try to put? Am I going to try to go to the front of the net, or am I going to come up high into a soft spot that nobody is covering, no one's paying attention to? And am I going to cut across the fence to try to make things happen? Do I have, in terms of taking a risk, like I said, in terms of taking a risk, if we want to jump on plays, do I have support if I miss? Guys, there are times that I have noticed that a player from the corner wants to pass the defender because the defender wants to shoot, is their heavy shooter. If I know that, can I jump it? If I jump it and I miss, is there anyone behind me? If there's somebody behind me, makes it easier to come through the risk. If you think if there is no one behind me, is the defender slow? Is everybody else behind me slower than you? Can you make a play on it? Can you make a play on it? Forgive yourself in the moment and get back into play if it doesn't work out, so on and so forth. You have to be able to live with the decisions that you're making, so it does require confidence, being able to play off the puck and just kind of knowing by shadowing the puck, making sure you're in line with it or being in line with your teammates. Just kind of being like I said, right angle, where it's being in line of who you're playing with, who you're trying to get the attention of, and trying to make the best play possible. So as it goes for skills that we try to practice for the applications of these skills, you want to work on transitions. You want to work on gives and goes. You want to fight for passing lanes. You want to be able to have situations where you're playing in the zone, odd man, offensively and defensively. And then, of course, you also want to be able to understand the backtracking and be able to transition quickly if you can get a turnover. There are 4 drills I'm going to focus on The oil derrick one will be already set up for the pass and go shuttle square, the puck rate of the passer, and the 3-on-2. I'm going to actually draw those up using the coach them website. So first, we'll go to the pass and go shuttle. All right. So the pass and go shuttle was a drill that I used with my squirts when I first started coaching about 13 years ago, which is interesting for me to say at this point in time in life. So for the pass and go shuttle, it's simple, it's fun. The idea is that that you have 2 pucks on the ice, you put everything in an even square, so you have 8 players in this case, and each player each time the puck gets passed. After the set puck is passed, the person who just had the puck switches spots, and as this is going on, you move left to goes whether you're going left, you're going to right. The idea of this is being able to understand once the puck is moved, you need to go, and you also need to be tracking the puck as it goes along, so you will make sure you are in the right place when the puck eventually comes back to you. So at this point, the player that started on that side is now getting the same puck that they started passing with, as they were able to switch along. The other variations of this is give and goes, pass, give and go, so on and so, go and go, make the switch. And then you also probably do a pass back. You would do a pass back or could do a pass back, and they'll give it back to the person once they get into line as well. And you can make other variations from there. The whole idea being is the second a decision is made, the second you make a pass, streak into the next place, be ready for the next thing to happen, and be able to be in position to be ready to make a play. For the race with the pass, you have forward set up here. You have 2 lines of forwards, 2 lines of defenders, coaches here. You would also have a coach here on the opposite side, or you can have F1. You can also have F2 on each lane doing the passes as well. It's a very simple one. It is a very simple one. Forward comes out to make the play. D is skating along with them to try to keep the pass cut off. Forward has to then try to do what they can to either evade and go around to catch a pass from the coach, or if they can skate by them because the defense is not paying attention, do so that way, and then you are able to make your play from there. You're able to make your play from there. Knowing how to be able to cut on the angle and making the right play and going to the right space and being able to force a play teaches the players that you can't just rely on going on the backside, especially in situations where if you do decide to put a defender in the center of ice for support, you then know you either need to cut in front of the defender who's skating along with you to try to make the pass easier for the coach or for your teammate, rather the passes from here or the passes from F2. And then you're also able to figure out where the open lanes will be from there if you are able to just get behind them but cut in front of the second player. Otherwise, we see this often. Someone tries to thread a needle between 2 defenders, one supporting, one who's actually defending the play. And what ends up happening is it gets picked off, it goes the other way. And that's what you don't want from forwards. And from the defenseman, yes, you're trying to encourage, hey, do what you can to make the forward's life difficult who's supposed to be trying to receive the pass. Make sure they don't get away free. And if they are getting away free, it's because they had to earn it. Now, for this drill, it's called the oil derricks. It's a drill I also learned while coaching squirts and peewees. So it seems it can be come off as a little difficult. It's one of those. It is one of those drills that if everyone is paying attention to what's going on, is actually pretty easy and it's quick to pick up. But you do have to understand that you will have to be able to skate and chew bubblegum at the same time to do this. Multiple things are happening. So this is a forecheck drill. This is a back check drill. This is a coverage drill. This covers a lot. This covers a lot of gambits and as it relates to the basic things you need to do to be able to play in transition and to move the puck. So on the beginner, what you see here is kind of more of the setup for if it's for the beginner version. Beginner version works where you have X1. They're gonna make a pass up. They're gonna make a pass. This is O1. O2 and 3 are on the wings. After that pass, X goes on behind the line. They are now an O. As that's happening, X2, and in this scenario, X2 is going to cover the winger on this side. O has to look to see where the open winger is. As X2 picks whichever winger, whether it be the left or right. In this case, it's going to their right. O should see that O3 is open. After that pass is made, X2 must stop, scream back to line to X1 because O is going to be skating down, and they're going to make the pass to X2, who is now X1. O1 now fills in that wing. And this goes continuously until you would like them to stop over there. People run out of breath, so on and so forth. And sometimes if people are getting confused, more often than not when players are getting confused. The next formation on that would be X1 is now not just passing the puck, but they are also putting pressure on O1. So that pass goes off. They're trying to make O1 to make a decision. That's where X2 becomes important, and knowing where the winger is going to be is important. Where X2 is going to be is important because as you see somebody pressuring, you need to make sure you're going to pass it to the open man, open woman, open player, and once that play is made, no matter what happens, X2 has to go back. Things get muddled up for players once they see that X2, they passed it to the person where X2 is, and it's like, okay, so what do I do now? Well, the game keeps going, the game continues. So X2 goes back. X2 would then have to go back. The person who ends up getting the puck, the winger that ends up getting the puck, will then have to pass it to the X2 as X1, and that's the lane that gets filled in. But the L1 is supposed to know, okay, if X2 is going here, go here. If X2 is going there, go here. The difficult version on this at the end of the day, would be that you include now the wingers are actually moving in motion with the puck. So now you're talking about when the pass goes, the wingers are shuffling along along with the puck to make the pass easier for O1 as X1 goes to press. X2 is trying to press to catch up. Once that pass goes, both O's should be skating as if they are in support as they're getting ready to give it to X2. X2, as it becomes X1, the player that received the pass gets in line, O1 covers for that spot, so on and so forth. In motion, it is actually a drill that looks pretty beautiful in motion, but you have to actually get the concept and stick with it first before before it actually looks that way. It's something that it is definitely an artist's dream of, this is going to look messy until the portrait is done. When it looks like a still portrait, it can look like a mess until you can see, and once in the motion, you understand, okay, now I see what's going on here. The last one is the last one I'm going to go over is the 3-on-2. And this drill is also pretty simple and it's set up. You'll have, in this case, it'll be the red team and black team lined up. Black is on defense in this case, red is on offense. And just so I can have a little bit more fun to this, gonna add a forward wing. We're gonna have a forward hanging up here. The point of this drill is very simple. Find the open man. Coach tosses the puck in, usually into the corner. F1 picks up, knowing they have two people defending, coming in to cover. Of course, you can do this 3-on-4, 4-on-5, 5-on-3, however many you want to try to get the idea of find a man, find a puck. For the defenseman, it's very simple. Try to for F1, D, in this case, it is D, just to signify they're in the defensive zone, are looking to take away the pass. The other person is trying to take away, is covering a man, find the open one, so on and so forth, get a goal. With this, on the defensive side, in terms of transitioning and playing the angles right and playing the rights and making something happen offensively, you can have a forward up on the blue line, knowing that it's an absolute jailbreak. If a good decision, the right decision is made for the O zone team, the team in the offensive zone, we get the puck, get a shot on goal, you play into the whistle. Bad decision is made, whether it be the defenseman gets the puck, the defenseman actually blocks the pass, or you pass it to the wrong player, it gets or the wrong cover player gets passed to. Coach can then send a puck out. Forward goes on a break, and then everybody has to back check down to the other end, 3-on-3, 3-on-3 or 4-on-4 on an even chance until you blow the whistle. If it's a situation where if it's a situation that one of the players that's in the defensive zone gets the puck, they have to be able to pass it. They have to be able to pass it on and get it clear. And then, like I said, everybody else is alert. Go, 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 go. So very quick and a little quick and easy today. As it relates, as I was saying, the idea here is to kind of encourage people to be wanting to let the players take a risk and make them understand, even when you don't have the puck, especially as when kids are growing up playing or trying to figure out how to play, they want to be the one that has control of everything. The best thing you can do is to learn how and learn the scenarios in which you will then and take opportunities because you don't have it, or make opportunities you don't have it. So much of the game is played without the puck, so you need to be able to find that space and know what to do in those scenarios and situations, and how to cut off lanes, how and when to cut off lanes, and just kind of know when to stay packed and do what you have to do defensively to try to survive whatever you're going through. So that is my presentation. I am ready and open to take questions.